Good morning.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Doing really well. Really pleased about the response to the film,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I'm doing very well. How
How
about
does
you?
it feel? Yeah, I'm good too. But Aditya, how does it feel to get the title of a very confident debutant? Because I was reading the reviews, and
Yeah,
everywhere it was mentioned that you have very confidently made your debut.
correct. I mean, it feels great. It feels great, and it's just it feels like the past few years of hard work, the past few years of sort of setting the foundation.
Yeah.
Working on the stage or training and all. But it really seems to have paid off, and it's really heartening, really motivating, but also makes me a little bit nervous going on to the next one because you always want to do
Yeah.
better.
Okay. So, a fan of yours here is saying, dude, you are awesome. How did you prepare for your role?
Oh, well, thank you very much. It's very kind of you.
Yeah.
So, the preparation for the role was rather interesting, actually.
Yeah.
So, because it's a character that was so different from myself, whether it's the manner of speech, the way of carrying himself, just his reactions to
Yeah.
certain things, his whole personality. I knew that I had to make sort of a transformation, which was actually the challenge.
Yeah.
Uh, the,
Okay,
sorry.
that's great. Also, I was
Yeah.
reading an interview of. Yeah, sorry, you were saying something?
Yes. So, so how we started off was, I auditioned for the role with the casting director Taran Bajaj ji.
Yeah.
Once Ranjan Bhai, the director, he saw the performance, he quite liked it.
Okay.
I came on board. I joined the team for the recce actually as they went around UP scouting for locations because I saw that as an opportunity to not only visit the place, get a sense of the milieu of the world, but also to observe the people there and observe their manner of speech, observe the way they carry themselves because there's as you can see in the film as well, there's a special confidence with which they
I know.
everyone. So
Yeah,
for a big city boy, for an urban Bombay fellow,
I know.
it's quite it's quite a change. It requires quite a change. So
Yeah.
that really helped. Then I came back to Bombay armed with all of this knowledge, and I sort of began applying it in a workshop conducted by Abhishek Pandey, which they did
Yeah.
for all of us actors. We did that for 2 or 3 weeks, during which I was working on the body language, the speech, all of those things, the dynamics
Yeah.
with the character. And then we were sort of, by the time we went on set, we were all ready and primed in our characters, ready to go. We'd already sort of almost forgotten each other's real names and only
Yeah.
calling each other character names and all of
That's
that. So,
great.
it was a pretty in-depth process and real fun, really rewarding, and it seems to have paid off. So I'm glad.
Yeah. So, a user here, Priyanka Kumari, is saying Sachi Bamfaad acting, I Shapat. So, there's so much love coming in. So, did you expect that in the beginning when you were about to shoot for it?
Oh no! I mean, how can you expect something like this? And I suppose if you start up expecting something like this, you're in trouble, right? I mean, the only thing I was really thinking about is doing the best I could, serving the story and just following my director's brief and making sure that I sort of give him what he wants.
Okay. And recently I was reading an interview of your father, Mr. Paresh Rawal, and he had told that your acting debut sort of came as a surprise to him also. Because, yeah, so elaborate on that, how come that happened?
I think what he meant was, I am a writer as well. I'm a
Yeah,
screenwriter.
exactly.
So I think part of it was that, he always thought that because the writing was going really well and I was working
Yeah.
I'm still working with some wonderful directors.
Yeah.
So he thought, I'm going down that path. And then suddenly out of the blue, I tell him that, I have been over the past couple of weeks, been auditioning for this film. The director likes my work. I like the script. I want to go forward with it. And so for him, it was, oh, wait, where did that come from? So that's
Yeah.
where the prize came from.
So now that you have acted and you, of course, have been a writer as well, what do you think, what are you going to follow next? Both, or are you going to, focus on acting more?
No, I think I enjoy doing both very much.
Okay.
Something I can do in my own time as well. So that's something that I definitely will do. But I think for the coming months, I'm focused on acting because I have a few projects lined up, which I'm really excited about, which, I'd love to start talking about once I can. But yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay. Also, I had this question in mind. Web is, of course, doing very nice right now, and even before it was doing great. But did you ever think of having like a mainstream debut in, in a theatrical release?
So actually, the film was always meant to be a theatrical release.
Oh, okay.
Even if you watch it, it's been
Yeah,
shot.
yeah, yeah, I have.
The director of photography is a fabulous, fabulous DOP.
Yeah.
The way he shot it, the colors and all of that, it's
Yeah.
clearly made for the big screen. But what happens is, we were lined up for release and all of that, all very excited, all geared up for it. But then, the virus sort of played to our plan,
Yeah,
played to the plans of a lot of
I know.
people. And we felt that, given the deluge of releases that will sort of follow once the theaters open up, we didn't
Yeah.
want our, which was made with a lot of love, to get lost in this whole flood of films. So that's why we sort of went for this, this wonderful platform. Z5 has such wonderful reach. And at a time when everyone's looking for stuff to watch, we felt it was a great option.
Okay. So that's great. Risha here is asking, he's amazing in the film. What was the preparation like to get into the character?
Oh, so thank you very much, Richa. So like I said, it was as I mentioned to you, it was just the recce, the
Yeah.
workshops, always observing people. Even once we started, we were lucky to be shooting on location, so everyone around you is sort of fodder for your character. So picking
Yeah.
up a lot of things from just observing. Actually, it's really helpful.
Okay. So recently I had like a session with Jatin, your co-star, and he was saying that you guys met during the audition, if I'm not wrong, and he said that you didn't tell him who you are. Like you were just like auditioning there, and then later on when you guys met, you guys revealed that
Yeah.
you are that. So how was it shooting with him, Vijay, Shalini, everyone?
They're all amazing. Everyone knows that they're amazing actors, but they're just such beautiful people. Never once did I feel like I was on my first sort of film. They treat you with such respect. I mean, we were already friends, by the time the workshop was, by the time we went on set. But they treat you with so much love. They're always quick to put you at ease, which for somebody who sort of had their first time as a lead actor, it can be quite intimidating. But thanks to them, it really wasn't, and it was a real pleasure working with them. I was really lucky to have them as co-stars.
Of course, that's great. So Amit here is saying, great acting. Please tell about your upcoming projects.
Thank you very much, Amit. I wish I could talk more about my upcoming projects, but I'm not allowed to speak about them just yet. But I promise you they'll be exciting, and I will be putting in as much hard work as I did for this, and hopefully you like it as much. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Aditya, you have sorted everyone's like quarantine period by releasing your film. They are all busy watching it. How are you coping up with your, staying at home period?
I'm actually quite enjoying it, to be honest. I mean, considering the despair that's all around us, I consider myself very fortunate that we all have a sort of we have a house, we have a roof, we have food to eat. So in that sense, considering what's going on, I feel very fortunate. And as far as spending my time goes, like I said, I'm sort of workshopping, rehearsing for the acting projects to come, making a lot of use of this free time to write a lot of new projects, develop some plays that are going to happen soon, and playing a lot of chess with my father, amongst other things. But it's great fun.
Okay, so Priyanka here has a very interesting question. She's asking, ever tried to pass Hera Fairy dialogues to someone?
I used to when I was a kid. I haven't done it in a while, but yes, I have previously.
Okay, so Karan Singh Chabra is saying you are a fab writer too, Aditya.
That's very kind of you, Karan. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay. Shivani is asking, which is your...
Karan is a wonderful actor. He's been in a web show recently that was very
yeah, I know. Okay, that's good. So Shivani is asking, which is your favorite movie of your father?
Oh, that's a tough one. I would say it's a toss-up between Uri and Oye Lucky Lucky Oye.
Okay, that's great. Okay. Okay, one second. Okay, Shivani is saying your acting was amazing, but were you nervous before it?
Oh yes, I mean, as one always is. But I think what helps me with my nerves is when I go in well prepared, I feel less nervous. So I feel just the more I prepare, the stronger my foundation is, the less nervous I feel. So I was nervous, but it was very much under control.
Okay. Also, if we see the trend that's being followed in Bollywood for like a long period of time now, that iconic films are being remade. So if Hera Fairy is already, of course, Hera Fairy is again, a third part comes, and if you are offered, will you
Yeah,
be able, like, will you take it up?
yeah. I mean, I'd give an arm and a leg to be a part of such a franchise.
That's
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Also, Aditya, you have of course been a writer as well, and I was again reading an interview of Paresh sir where he had mentioned that he thought of you to continue that, and
Right.
you were doing great with that. So when exactly did you know that now it's time for me to even try my hands on acting?
So, I mean, I was always acting as well. I used to do a lot of work on the stage. Just over the
Yeah.
past couple, I moved back from New York where I used to work and as a writer and an actor. I moved back about a couple of years ago, and then we immediately sort of, I was working on a few projects, writing projects. One of them being Ashutosh Sir's Panipat. Uh,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So, but then I was always like talking to people for acting roles and all of that, and
Yeah.
then this came around, and I was just like on it.
Okay, that's great. So Viraj Samarth here is asking, have you ever thought of writing a film for Paresh sir?
Oh, yes. I mean, we've discussed a couple of projects.
Okay.
Hopefully, once we get more clarity on them, I might end up sort of developing those scripts. But
And what
that's
about, yeah, sorry,
that's
continue, please.
what we're very excited about.
Okay, yeah. So what about acting with him as well?
Oh, that would be a pleasure, wouldn't it? That would be something that I mean I would really enjoy. I would get to learn a lot, from him. Despite him being at home, I mean I always learn from him. We always talk about films and theater and acting and all of that. But
Yeah.
working with him, I'm sure will be even more enlightening. So yes, I would absolutely love.
Okay. So people are still asking when will we get to see the father and son duo?
Oh, hi Chandni.
He's asking.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Hopefully, sometime in the coming years, think about it. But the first,
Okay.
thank you.
Ashna Singh here is asking one question. Were you nervous acting opposite your assistant director?
So Ashna actually, was the assistant director on the film as well, and
Okay. Yeah.
we had a we had a small scene where she plays an appearance. If you've seen the film, it's the one where he goes to the office to get a job, and yeah, and Ashna was wonderful in it. And yes, I was terribly nervous because you want to match up to your co-actors, and she was
Yeah.
just smashing. So yes, Ashna, I was.
Okay. So there is this fan called Hemant, and he is saying, Nasir bhai, please ek dialogue sunao. And he has been saying that for a long time now. Since 5 minutes I'm reading.
Okay. Well, let's see which one. ठीक है. मेहंदी बेच बेच के तुम्हारे बाप ने करिश्मा दिलाई है, हाँ? और तुम साले लौंडियाबाजी करने के लिए बस पे चढ़ रहे हो, हाँ?
Okay, that's great. Okay. So Shivani is asking, who's your favorite actor?
Oh, that's a tough question. There's a long list, but I would say Nawazuddin Siddiqui sir was right up there. I think he is someone whose work I really admire. His power on screen is just immaculate. I mean, and the range that he has, the power of his sort of performance in more dominant roles, but even roles
Yeah.
box, he's just amazing.
Yeah, I agree. So, Raj Kothari here is asking, were you nervous doing a romantic scene or are you a natural? That's a good one.
I was actually, one is nervous before trying something new of any kind, but with regards to this, we'd worked so hard in the workshops on all of these things that by the time we went on set, I was just really itching to sort of do it. I'm not really nervous before we shot.
Okay. Raj is saying we need a Nawaz and Aditya collaboration.
Oh, yeah. I need it desperately. I mean, that would be an absolute dream come true. Thank you, Raj.
Yeah, true. Okay. Priyanka here is saying, how did you prepare yourself from a writer to actor? Are you still preparing for different kind of roles?
Oh yes, I mean, I these two things sort of went hand in hand, writing and acting. They
Yeah.
were, and I think one helps the other. To be honest, if you're a writer, you understand what if you're sort of playing a character, you understand what the writer is trying to do.
Yeah.
You understand what each line is sort of trying to achieve, in the script. So both helps, and then of course being an actor really helps with your writing, because then you know what kind of lines an actor would find hard to say, whether certain lines are useless because an actor would not be able to play them, all of those things. So they both went hand in hand for me. So it was never like a really conscious switch from one to the other.
Okay. That's great. So lastly, Aditya, I would want to ask, there's so much love coming in your way, and there's so many fans of you, and they are all, very excited to see you here live. So if there would be like one message for all your fans, and during this period when, we are in sort of in the middle of a crisis, what positive message would you want to give to everyone?
Hello.
Yeah. Hi. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Hello. Can you? Sorry,
I can hear you.
Cut off briefly.
Yeah. So I was asking if you had to give like a positive message to everyone who's live with us right now, what would that be?
Stay at home, and the ones who can sort of lend a helping hand in some way, be it financially, materially, even just whether it's their own support, if they are able to sort of help out in any way, please do so, because we're all in this together and we sink or swim together. So stay safe, guys. Stay at home and do what you can from the safety of your homes.
Okay, thank you so much for being live with us, Aditya. Thank you so much.
It's a real pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.